Good morning, profitable traders. Welcome to today's market conversation, being the 24th of October 2025. So good to have each and everyone of you around. If you're connecting on YouTube, you're very much welcome. And for people who are here to join our Zoom, you are also very much welcome. Without taking further of our time, we'll just head straight with today's analysis. And we usually would like to start from DXY. So on DXY, the monthly time frame, as seen right here, nothing has really changed. Price has just been as it has been, right? It's monthly time frame, so changes don't occur frequently. On the monthly time frame, we saw a range right here and a sweep of this liquidity. Coming down to the weekly time frame also, I can spot the classic box pattern for a sell, shoulder at 107.581, sweep to the upside, break to the downside. I want to see price retracing right into this left shoulder, and once that happens, I'm more than willing to sell off DXY. So on the monthly time frame, I'm actually looking out for a sell to buy over a long period of time, of course. So down to the daily time frame, let's see what price has for us on the daily time frame. Fibbing this most recent swing from point A to point B, we saw that price actually retraced into 78, tapped into 61.8% fib level, right? Held off that point, and we've seen some push to the upside. Where do we think price is coming into? Price will clear the high right here, residing at 99.275 on the daily time frame. And coming down to the 4-hour time frame also, I am expecting that price should clear out this double top. There's liquidity residing right here, so we should see a clear of this double top right here at 99.118. Coming down to the 1-hour time frame too, I can spot an eventual entry right here, shoulder at 97.823, sweep right here, break to the upside. So I will be looking out to take the buy of DXY once price retraces right back into this left shoulder, coinciding with 97 rather, spot 823 on the 1-hour time frame. If you have questions or a different bias, so if you are not patient enough to wait for price to retrace all the way, you can actually look out for short-term sales, just a retracement, and sell all the way to the left shoulder. And once price gets there, I will be warming up to take buy positions on 1-hour time frame. And on Euro USD being the next pair to be analyzed, right? Monthly time frame, we saw a sweep of this liquidity and price has expanded, consolidated, and we saw an expansion to the upside. And of course, after expansion, we want to see some retracement. And for me, this is the monthly time frame. Of course, there are quite some points of interest as to where I'd be looking out for this retracement to take place. First is this fair value gap, and of course, coinciding with this high where resistance will probably turn into support, and we keep buying Euro USD on the monthly time frame. And down to the weekly time frame, of course, on the weekly time frame, I can spot classic box pattern, right? Shoulder right here, 1.06762, sweep to the downside, break to the upside, sweep to the downside, I beg your pardon, break to the upside. This is what we are looking out for price to do, for price to, trade right back here. And once price gets there, I'm more than willing to take my buy positions long term. On daily time frame, right, we can actually see that price has been sitting at this left shoulder right here, left shoulder at 1.15689, right? So It's just been stalling, and I also have a second point of interest, which is this IOFED. So if we don't see so much momentum to the upside, we know that price wants to trade into this IOFED, and if price doesn't hold off that point, rest assured that price is coming to clear the low at 1.13962. And down to the 4-hour time frame, let's see what price has for us. On the 4-hour time frame, we haven't seen that. On the 4-hour time frame, we're even seeing that overall, we're seeing pushes to the downside, and I want to see price clearing this low, speculating that price should clear the low at 1.15435 on 1-hour time frame. Let's see if we can spot any classic entry. All right, so there's the shoulder right here at 1.16933. Sweep, break, of course, looking out for entries. I want to see price pressing all the way into this left shoulder. Once price gets there, I'm willing to sell. So if you're not patient enough for price to get all the way to 1.16933, you can actually look out for entries for the buy, which is just a short retracement that we want to catch all the way to the left shoulder. So in alignment with that, we could just look out for maybe entries to catch the little buy positions we're looking out for. In the 5 minutes time, we want to see if there's an entry. So there's no clear entry yet for us to catch the short retracement of a buy on Euro USD. So we're just going to keep watching. We're going to keep watching to see if the market gives us an entry. Right. So on the monthly time frame for Euro, I beg your pardon, for GBP USD, I've seen price clear out the high at one spot. The high at 1.33878. Right, so we're expecting that there should be some sort of retracement because price has expanded. And on the weekly time frame also, there's the classic box pattern right here. We've been looking at this for a period of time right here, rather. So of course, over a long period of time, we will probably see price retracing right back into 1.24930. And on the daily time frame also, we're seeing that price is just forming a sell structure, lower highs and lower lows. And of course, we will probably see price clear out the low at 1.31256 on the daily time frame, coming down to the 4-hour time frame also. The 4-hour time frame, I'm looking out for more sell opportunities. All right, so we may see price clearing the low right here. The low right here. We see price clearing the low residing at 1.32535 on the 4-hour time frame. I'm coming down to the 1-hour time frame. Let's see, this is quite choppy, but seeing that we always want to sell at premium, you may see price retracing all the way to this left shoulder right here. You may see price retracing all the way to this left shoulder, right? Something like this. Once price gets to a premium level, yeah, more than willing to sell it off. In the 5 minutes time frame, let's see if there may be any entry, beg your pardon, for a buy. Short-term buy. Overall, we're looking for sell opportunities, but seeing that we probably may want to catch the retracement on 1-hour time frame. There's a shoulder right here, there's a sweep, and there's the break. So on the 5 minutes time frame, I'm willing to, see price do this. Once price gets there, I will be buying GBP USD short term all the way to the left shoulder. This is where I'm taking profit. Once price trades into 1.34523 on the 1-hour time frame. Please, if you have questions at this point, it's a good place to ask your questions. if you have a different bias from everything that has been said, do feel free to type in the chat box, and we will be answering questions and be looking at the market from your own perspective. Right, while we're doing that, registration for the FX Bootcamp training is currently ongoing. Right, very limited slots available. You can send us a message on 081 60 90 50. Apologies for that noise. Right, so if there are no questions, we'll be going on a break, a very short break, and Lekon will be here for his analysis on gold and the yen basket. It's always an insightful session with him. Please don't go anywhere, especially if you trade volatile assets such as gold, right? So we'll be going on a brief break and we'll be back shortly.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Market Call-Up brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. So this morning, we'll be going into the analysis of the precious metal, and from there, we'll be heading straight to the yen basket to see what is going on in Japan and use it to interpret the other yen correlated pairs. All right, so let's take off this morning from the precious metal. For the weekly time frame on precious metal, you are going to observe that this week happens to be a very bearish week, just the way we said on Monday that we expect this week to be a bearish week for the precious metal. And as you can see, after the massive buy to the upside, we're expecting at least 50% retracement of this weekly trend that we can see here. So at least if we see 50% retracement, then
Apologies, Lekon is having network issues. Please stay on the call while it tries to revive back. Thank you.
Sorry for the break in transmission. I want to believe you can hear me loud and clear now. All right. That is just a break in the network. So as I'm saying, just a quick recap again of what we have on the weekly time frame. We said the weekly time frame happens to be a bearish week this week, just the way we analyzed on Monday. And as we can see on the chart, we are expecting at least 50% retracement all the way of this weekly breakout that we've seen so far. And if you look at it from the daily perspective, we are going to observe that now we are seeing more of a very high momentum to the downside, especially on Tuesday. That happens to be a very massive sell all the way to the downside for the precious metal. Now let's quickly move to our 4-hour time frame to see what is going on the 4 hours. Now on Monday, after the market opened after the sell-off on Friday, which gives us a pre-information of what we should expect on this week, we see on Monday how that price retraced all the way back again to the high, the all-time high that precious metal created last week Friday, and expecting moving forward is that we want to see more the downside. To observe sorry for that break. What we are seeing on the 4-hour time frame is market structure shift to the downside. We've seen this low broken to the downside again, and we're expecting that price is going to retrace a bit to this low, which happens to be a support. Then it should turn a resistance. And if you look at it from the 1-hour time frame again, we are going to observe that that particular region has a fair value gap in it, and we're expecting price to retrace a bit there, and we'll continue our sell all through to the downside. So reason why we are waiting a bit to see entry for the sell, to join the sell for today's trading period session rather, is that we want to see price take out yesterday high, which is this particular high here. Then we begin to sell all the way to the downside again, especially if the New York session is going to trade into this zone. Then we look for entry opportunity at this flip zone for us to join the sell for the New York session, or even during this London session if we see price retrace all the way to that level. Now on the 15-minute time frame, what do we have going on the 15-minute time frame? For 15 minutes, we've not seen anything play out yet. All we are still seeing is price pushing gradually to the downside. All right, and that is what we should be looking out for moving forward. So we've not seen any entry signature on everywhere. Still seems to be just the way it is now, as there is no entry yet. And even if you come to your 5-minute time frame, we have similar pattern playing out on 5 minutes. We've not really seen any entry opportunity even on the 5-minute time frame. So we should be patient and see what becomes of price on today's market. But the overall move still remains for this week. We are still very much bearish, and we'll be willing to sell when price pull back to this flip zone, which happens to give us a fair value gap within on a Tuesday sell-off. Then we look for opportunity to start selling from that place. A quick move to Japan to see what we have going on the yen basket. For the yen basket, as you can see, after price traded into our weekly POI, we see the rejection last week to the upside again. And this week happens to be a bearish week, as we've been expecting it to be bullish, meaning we are expecting price to continue is buy all the way to the upside, but rather price has been pushing a little bit downward. But if you go to the lower time frame, we know why that is happening, because of this our boss pattern that we have on the daily time frame. So price is expected to react to it, knowing fully well, and that is even showing us how powerful the trading strategy is. And you can see this is the shoulder, this is the sweep. You see the first break, price came back into the shoulder, and we see how it's pushing all the way down. But at the same time, we have similar thing playing out that is about to happen just below this particular aspect too, and we are going to see that show up soon on the yen basket, which is very obvious on the 1 hour time frame. But before we get to the 1 hour time frame, let's look at the 4 hours, of which we've seen a market structure shift on the 4 hour time frame, and now price is now heading all the way to the downside again. And on 1 hour time frame, we are going to observe for 1 hour, we see this is the shoulder, and price is still pushing gradually to that level before we start seeing a push back to the upside. So this is the boss pattern we expect to hold on the 1 hour time frame. Peradventure, price is going to push all the way to that level. We expect price to return all the way back up from that particular region. Now to the GBP JPY. What are we seeing there on GBP JPY? Remember, on the daily time frame for GBP JPY, price is still very much pulling a bit back, but we've not seen price traded into this jump that we have 2 weeks ago, and we are still expecting price there. However, on the 1 hour time frame, we have a level we marked out sometimes few weeks ago, this particular shoulder, and we expect that price is going to trade into that shoulder even more to come and take out liquidity at this level. And when we begin to see that, then we are expecting more sales to the downside. But something is going on the other yen correlated pair, as we already see all of them attain their own POI level. It's only GBP-JPY that is yet to get to that level. If you look at pairs like EUR-JPY, but before we move to that, let's check the 5 minutes on the GBP-JPY. The 5-minute time frame for GBP-JPY, until we see a clear market structure shift, which is somewhere here, we are seeing it gradually, but we still expect that price is still going to pull back up a bit more on GBP-JPY. But since that is what is happening, even on the 15-minute time frame, we've not really seen the confirmation of the sell. Instead, we may still see price pull back a little bit before going all the way down. But the OPOI for GBP-JPY sell still remains at this particular top. This is the shoulder resting at this region here, and we begin to see the sell-off from that place to the downside. So that is that for GBP-JPY. Now moving forward to EUR-JPY as we round up for the day. For EUR-JPY, we have similar price action playing out right now. As we can see, EUR-JPY already traded into its own POI. This is the shoulder for EUR-JPY. This is the shoulder here, and price already traded into it. Remember, we marked those level out, and we expect price to pull back and trade into that level. And on Monday, remember Monday, we're buying all the way after price took out this liquidity. We're expecting a buy all the way to this zone. And today being Friday, price already traded into the POI. What should we now do? We go to our 5-minute time frame, and when we get to our 5-minute time frame, we see what price exactly has done here. So now this is a very wild boss pattern, boss structure showing up, because we've seen this is the shoulder, we've seen the sweep, and now we are expecting the break. The break is going to happen somewhere around this region through to the downside. All right, so that is that for the precious metal moving forward, the GBP-JPY moving forward. So we're expecting price to, take out this low, and when price takes out this low, we opportunity to sell GBP, EUR-JPY. All right, so this is the shoulder here. This is where the shoulder is going to form. Somewhere here is where we are expecting for the sell. And as a matter of fact, if you are an early seller, Then looking at this pattern we have showing up here, this is telling us there's a rejection at this upside. But I would advise, if we can be patient enough to see our price, break this low to the downside and come back to this 15-minute POI level, and we can easily keep following it to the downside. So in a nutshell, this is the outlook that we have for the yen correlated pair and also for the precious metal. If there is any question, you can easily type in the chat box. And if there is none, this is going to be the end of the market follow for this London session for Friday. Till we meet again for the New York recap, make sure you trade cautiously, patient enough for your entry to align, and you give it a very best shot. All right, till we meet again for the New York recap. I'm Lekon Shemi. Cheers and God bless.